Good morning, everybody. Welcome. My name is FoB. I'm the coordinator of the Master of Bioinformatics and System Theology. Most of you are here for that. Some of you are just here for the course Fundamentals of Bioinformatics, and some of you are here for the course Principles of Bioinformatics. Is there anybody in the room who does not feel included by the three categories that I mentioned? What were you expecting?
Well, I'm here for the Master of Molecular Sciences, track bioinformatics.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's all. That also. So the track bioinformatics. So I think it's officially called molecular bioinformatics in the Master of Biomolecular Sciences. That's also valid category. Yes. Okay. Anything else? Good. Welcome everybody. I'm a bit nervous because I have been in this room before with people roughly the level of my hands, and this is more than we've had before, which is great because either we have a popular topic or we're doing something right, or maybe we make it as well. And yeah, welcome. As you might have noticed, the lectures will be recorded. I hope they will be sort of okay. Usually it's my phone. It's really okay. Good enough. We'll see. We have alternative options if the quality turns out to be low. Am I visible on the screen? Right. So, with that done, can everybody hear me? Also in the back? Yes? Okay. There is a microphone here, but I don't know if you've ever lectured with a microphone for 2 hours. One of the things that you notice, if you haven't done it before, you don't realize that, but your one armpit is always closed. Right? So you can imagine that this becomes, so your hand becomes very. I prefer to be free moving and okay. But if you feel that I'm not broadcasting to you back, just start waving. Yeah? So I'll make it work. Okay. So principles of bioinformatics, fundamentals of bioinformatics. We'll get back to some of the practical details. So the first hour today will be more or less an overview of practical things, and the second hour will be introduction into bioinformatics. Should I say something special for the bachelor students? Because we have a funny course here where most of you are master students, but there's about 15 to 20 bachelor students who are doing the same lectures, but otherwise in different groups. Slightly. So who are the bachelor students? Where are you guys? Oh, very nicely spread out.
So the first hour, a lot of it is relevant, also because I know a lot of you are thinking about doing the masters next year. So listen, but the information that's specific for the bachelor course and for the minor, I will talk about that in the first practical hour straight after this elective block. Yeah. So not everything in the first hour will be.
Okay. Yeah, we had. So you also noticed that we had a last minute room change because otherwise we wouldn't have fixed it. Right. So let's see. Yeah. So I'll go through the structure of our master a little bit first, not in very much detail, but most of you guys. Oh, let's do that. So we have the bachelor students. So you're from the track molecular biophysics, the biomolecular master, biomolecular sciences master. Who else is doing the track molecular biophysics? Oh, that's quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just going to jot it down. Right. Okay. Who is also from the master bioinformatics? No, master. All these names. The master biomolecular sciences, but not doing the track. All right. So that's 1, 2, 3, and
Yes, it's coming from that.
5. Okay. 3. Who are not from the master bioinformatics, assistant biology, also not from the master biomolecular sciences? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. I'll just lump you in other. It's good statistics for us because now I know roughly how many students are actually in our master. It's just.
Who is actually in the master?
I guess. Okay. Who has not raised their hand yet? So what's? Oh, you're in the pre-master then?
No, mine.
Yeah, so you're a bachelor's.
Mine. Okay, fine.
That's a bachelor's.
Yeah. Yeah, but you raised your hand before, and someone asked who's doing the master.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thanks. So, a few pointers. There'll be, so the PDF is already online, but then if you have the PDF somewhere, then you'll find all the other stuff back. Most of it is on Canvas. So this is the link to the course, a horrible number, but it takes you where you want to go. The schedule, we finally, after so many years, we have a decent scheduling interface, because the previous ones were just horrible HTML tables. I actually have a script that translates them, so you can import them. I don't need that anymore. So we have a schedule, so all the up-to-date schedule is always at rooster of people who don't know. So rooster is Dutch word for schedule. Nothing to do with the rooster that takes you out of bed too early in the morning. It's just it's Dutch for schedule. Then there is another Canvas link, which is which is a general page for the master program. Yeah, and so there you find all sorts of practical information about the master, about how to graduate, which is really now, but you may want to review that at some point. I'll do some of the other courses, information about the other courses, about internships and so on. You don't need all that right now, but you have the link here. All the sort of official course information details in the study guide. You might not need it at all, but if you're looking for courses, then it's one of the best. Right, so a few short words about the master. So with the master in bioinformatics assistant biology, it comes with 2 profiles. Bioinformatics, we call them profiles or majors, or it's basically it's called them tracks. It's 4 extremely different. The stream is bioinformatics, and the stream is system biology. And so then, in terms of structure, we're now at the start of the first year, and I'm sorry, this is maybe not all relevant to all of you, but to so many of you, that this just has to be standard. So the first year is the coursework, so 60 points of courses, which means 10 courses. 42 of those are compulsory. I'll come back to the details in a minute. And there's 18 points that are optional, and since all our courses are 6 modules, this means 3 courses, so they're free to choose. And the second year will be 2 internships, also a total for 10 months, and I'll come back to that also. Before I go into all the details, more details, a little bit about you guys. So we have a quite broad spectrum of students going into a master, from biology all the way to computer science and things in between. And this is my fun part for the start of the year, because I just to tell. So. So, who is from bioinformatics? Who did a bioinformatics bachelor here? Interesting, isn't it? You'd expect more in a bioinformatics. So please keep your hand because I want to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Computer science. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Biology. It's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This is not nearly the total number of students in the room. So, sorry? Biomedical? You can raise your hand more than once if you want. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. Let's see. Physics. Yes, there's always a few every year. 1, 2. Mathematics. There's a surprisingly large overlap in skill set between physics and mathematics. Okay. We're not nearly there, right? Engineering. Bioengineering. Biotechnology. Right? You all seem to hesitate. What would be their label?
Biotech.
Biotech. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Oh, let's do chemistry first then. Maybe that's easier. Chemistry? Biochemistry. Anybody else? Biochemistry? 1, 2. And 2. Then biotech. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What else?
Genetics.
Genetics.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Genetics. 1, 2, 3. I know there's a couple of you guys from oncology. These are I've got emails from people in oncology who want to do the course.
Yes, I have oncology.
Oh, you did already.
Yeah, the last 3 months of my
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Other things, because there's a lot of people that I haven't explored yet. Yeah. Okay. Right. Who? You two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What next?
life science and technology.
All right. Yes. Anybody else? Life science and technology? 2, 3, 4. Four. Life science informatics? And or AI? Maybe you've lumped yourself under computer science already. Okay, but I don't think this add, does this add up already? 20, 30, 40, 50. Who feels left out? Oh, right. Yeah, I'll just say business. Anybody else?
I did HBO.
Oh, okay, right. So,
Email.
laboratory, yeah. What's the laboratory sciences?
Yeah, laboratory.
Anybody else laboratory sciences? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Anything else?
Well, also nursing.
Nursing. Right. Anybody else? This is the first category where we're going to. Oh no, mathematics. So maybe this is good enough for you to get an idea of the breadth of the thing. So that also means that most of you guys do not have any former classmates. Who does? Oh, so this means that most people do not have a former classmate in the room right now. But I'm just asking who does. So that's only about, I'm not going to count, this is about 25, maybe 30. Okay. If you came in here wondering that you were probably the only one, well, if you're from university. There's a huge diversity of you guys here, right? Which is actually a very nice thing. Because that means that this is sort of the playground in which we let you guys practice collaborating across disciplines. Maybe that's the reason that you were attracted to this kind of master. But this is one of the main things in bioinformatics and system biology. It's in between disciplines. So a lot of the work is about being able to talk to people from different backgrounds. And that is very nice to have a group of people from very different backgrounds that you can practice with. Okay. Something funny here. Yeah. So this was about you. Sorry. I didn't introduce you. This is Summer Apple, right? So she's coordinator of the minor program in the bachelor. Also teaching in this course, also teaching in subsequent courses. But also, you come back and you oh, there's a chart over here. Thanks. See you later.
Probably make sure check the rooms because we're probably going to change the rooms for tomorrow. So it's very likely unless it's scheduled now.
Yeah, possibly it will be this one, but it will be in the schedule. But it might only be refreshed. I don't know whether refreshed.
Is the app up to date?
I'm sorry.
Is the app through that? Is it up to date?
It should be up to date.
So if you
So
check the
last
room,
night
you
this
check
room was correct in the. We will send emails by conference as well. Make sure you check it there.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's an email app. Does anyone know? So it's a free email app.
I don't think so.
register.
What you can best do is forward, if you don't get to check your email forward, you can forward all your emails to different people.
Okay. So it comes in, that's you guys, right? And so one of the catchphrases that we use is a respectful collaboration of experts. So you come in being very good at the thing you've been doing in your bachelor. You'll continue being good at that. You don't lose it, but you'll learn to effectively work together with somebody who has a different expertise, maybe a very different way of looking at problems, different way of solving them, but also maybe slightly different vocabulary for things. So these things are very interesting to discuss. Okay, so back to the courses. So we have let me see. I'll do this later. That was about you guys. This is us. I just introduced Sanne. She's a lecturer in the group since almost 10 years. Many of you have seen Jaap last Friday or maybe earlier on Information Day and so on. This is, I think it's by now not a very recent picture, but that's usually a recent picture. For some reason, those pictures. Then other people appearing in this course, Bas, he's a PhD student and since recently a teacher also in our program. Over here, he will be coordinating the group work, the project work in the course. Jose will be coordinating the practicals for the bachelor students. This is me. Olga is another new junior teacher in our group who will be coordinating a lot of stuff, but you'll mainly see her in the programming classes. Annabelle Dekker over here and Nicola Rufino, they're both master students. They started last year, I think, and they will be your student assistants in practical works. And then we have a biology class where you'll see Lena if you're going to go. So it means if you don't, I'll explain the class to you. Maybe I can do that now because this is where it comes together. Because you come from such different backgrounds, it's very hard to make you work through exactly the same curriculum, right? Because a lot of you haven't done a lot of programming yet. Some of you haven't done a lot of mathematics yet. Some of you haven't done a lot of biology yet. And if that's true, if all three are true, then this is maybe not a good master for you. But if you're very good at one of these three, programming or mathematics or biology or related things, then that's fine. We can work on the other stuff, right? But to help sort of a kickstart in that, we have put it into this course, actually together with the system technology course that will start on Wednesday if you're doing the master. We have these, we call them classes, which are part of the courses where you do typically 2 out of the 3. So you do mathematics, programming, and biology, 2 of those 3, depending on the so the programming class is taught by Olga with help of this, many of us. Leonard Hamoun, he's actually from the UVA. His master is a joint degree, in case you haven't noticed. He will be the first UVA teacher that you'll see on the Friday morning doing the biology class if you don't have biology in your background. Otherwise, and then there is the mathematics class, which will be done by the guys from the system biology course. You'll meet them on Wednesday. Okay. So, a few more things about the master, and then start taking of time. So this is the first half of your first year. We're now here. You're doing fundamentals of mathematics or principles of mathematics. If you're interested in our master, you'll be starting Introduction to System Biology on Wednesday. Then I told you, is there a question? No, it's okay. But usually when people start talking, then I forgot to mention something. Yes. Okay. Don't hesitate to just raise your hand and ask a question. That's what a lecture is for. Otherwise, you might as well read the book or review somebody else's video lectures. Some people who are very good at explaining about things.
Do you have to sign in for like mathematics or biology?
No, you have to be signed in. Yeah. But it's not a separate class, so of course. So there will be, all the material will be on the context of this.
Yeah, then I need to go to the lecture. Like I already had mathematics, so
Yeah.
I just can skip the mathematics class.
So after this lecture at 11, we'll have technically it's project practical work, but we'll first start with an intake questionnaire. Some of you guys have been on an intake interview with me, already did it. We'll do it again, and it has some specific questions on mathematics, some on biology, some on programming. So we can sort of try and map you guys onto the topics where you really need to have additional groundwork. And for some of you, you might only need one, and we'll figure out how to do that.
Small question.
Yeah.
The formula, the writing of this credit, do we already sign up for that, or?
No, it's somewhere in the second half of the year. It's just here because it doesn't fit anywhere else in the schedule, and otherwise I'll forget.
Second year after period 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll get to it. I'll first. So I mentioned the two profiles, right? So bioinformatics profile, systems biology profile. You have to do one of those two. Right? You can also do both. It depends a bit on your background, because if you also have to work on your mathematics or your programming, then it doesn't matter. And so the bioinformatics courses are in blue, and the systems biology courses are in green here. So you'll need to choose one of these two. You can do both, maybe. If you don't do both, then you have a slot open there for all of your courses. So this is the start, yes. Then this is another compulsory course. It will be January, Biosystems Data Analysis. That's a course at the UVA. Right, bioinformatics. Right. Oh yeah, that also means you need to decide at some point which of the two profiles you're going to do. And we'd like this decision moment to be around the start of the second period. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to sign up for the biosystem data analysis, but it's not possible for the group
No, you have to sign up via the UVA.
And what if I want to
If you're a master, if you're a student in our master, then you should get automatically get a what's the word for it? Secondary enrollment at the UVA. If you're not on our master, then you have to ask at your master coordinator or your mentor if it's possible to take that course. And then you'll have to ask the teachers if they still have room for it. Okay. Right. Then, I was expecting the second half. Okay. Yeah. So ideally we want you to be able. So one of the aims of these two first courses is to make you more acquainted with bioinformatics and systems biology as topics. So you know what you're choosing for, right? And maybe some of you already have an idea of what they want, which direction they want to go. Maybe some of you don't. Maybe you'll change your mind during the next 2 months. But there's the decision moment is here at the start of the semester. Technically, you'll have to enroll for courses a bit earlier because the enrollment deadline I think is 6 weeks ahead of the start of the period, which means it's about it's in 2 weeks. So that means you'll have to oversubscribe to courses when you're not sure that you won't take it. We'll get to that point later, because what also will happen later this week or early next week, we'll assign each of you a mentor. There's 4 mentors. I'm one of them, Sonne is one of the others, and then Douwe is one of the guys in system biology who's also involved in the system biology course. It's on Wednesday. And Huub is the coordinator of the master at the UVA. Well, this was how we used to divide students. The mentors, but it depends a little bit on the fractions of people from different places. With your mentor, your mentor will help you to find and choose optional courses, and make a personal education plan. So basically just a list of courses, and maybe already some ideas of what kind of intersection you want to do. So you don't have to do all that by yourself. And typically, the first time around, most of you guys have similar questions, so we do that in groups, not too big groups, right? Because if we divide all of you in 4, then there will be groups of 20 or so. That's a bit too big, but maybe groups of 5 or 7 or so. And then we'll also go through how and when, what sort of branches of, so that will be somewhere next week, because I think next week is the deadline for next week. I don't like these deadlines. But, okay, now then the second half of the year, there's more courses, and these are all profile courses. So the compulsory courses are these 3, plus the proposal writing or thesis writing that you already pointed out. But those are individual courses, so they cannot be done flexibly, but typically towards the end of the year, because how are you going to do a literature thesis on bioinformatics next grade? Because you need a little bit more groundwork on bioinformatics to be able to do that nice system. Okay. So bioinformatics starts here with algorithms. The course is more or less what it says. It's algorithmically focused. It's quite a lot of programming, and it's about how blast works, how alignments work, how next-gen sequencing, assembly works. Structural bioinformatics is about protein structures and how we can calculate and make predictions out of protein structures or about protein structures, with the aim of saying something about protein function. And then finally, bioinformatics for translational medicine. That's it's a combination of interesting biological questions, a bit of machine learning or data mining, data science kind of approaches, with the aim of solving medical problems. And then in the systems biology profile, there's the starting course with basic course of biological networks, where you start with more or less what it says. There's system biology practice, which is basically how you get from a sample to the data. So there's a bit of data analysis involved, but it's actually a practical course with some proteomics and some transcriptomics and how to work with it. And then there's actually 2 other courses in the systemology profile, where you have to do one of those 2 at least, and you can also do both, except that you have to. So this is the only course. Advanced models is the only course that has a prerequisite, because you need to have done basic models. And then statistics with R is about basically data analysis with R, focused on biological problems. It could have been the bioinformatics course. It's actually subject to bioinformatics topics. But it's hard to do systems biology without this kind of skills. So that's why it's there. But it's also a very popular optional course for students to do the bioinformatics. So, okay. Any questions about this?
So if you have to do one of the 2 tracks, I
Yes.
guess. So if you're doing the bioinformatics track and you would want to do the R at some point, it doesn't matter that you don't have any prior knowledge of the other system biology courses?
No. Also, all these courses, with the exception of advanced modeling, but they're all independent units. Instructional bioinformatics will refer back, for example, to alignment problems and so on. But we won't go into the algorithmics. And so it's easy if you've done algorithms and sequence analysis. But if you haven't, then you can just look it up in the book or Wikipedia, and you have your primer about alignment. So it's not that they're disconnected; they are connected, but not in such a way that you really need all the detailed knowledge from one course. Other questions about this? Yeah.
For systems biology in practice, you mentioned that like
Yes, there's that word included. Yes. There's a because of that. There's actually there's a limit on how many students we can accommodate. Because it's just a physical sign of the lab, where you can't have more people working at the same time. And so if there's more people interested, you could also then at least the students who are doing the system biology profile get preference, because for them it's a compulsory course. Other questions about this slide? This is what you'll get back to with your mentor in more detail. So, well, this is what I already said. Mentor assignments will be done later this week or early next week. Now, that was the first year. Second year will be internships, as I already said, 2 internships, major and minor one. They can be the same size, which means about 5 months. But your minor can also be smaller. It cannot be larger. And it has to be at least 3 months, because if you're less than 3 months somewhere, then you start learning somewhere during the end of the second month. Quick. So otherwise it's not. And places you can go, well, obviously universities, research institutes, university hospitals, academic hospitals, but also clinics. But it has to be research, and it has to be bioinformatics and or system biology. Because otherwise it's not internship in the master. And you can be a little bit there. We don't have fixed time moments for these internships. So what, instead of doing, for example, your literature thesis at the end of the first year, you can also start your internship in June, and then have your literature thesis in December. Also, for example, there might be a very interesting optional course that you really want to take, which is in period 1, which is now, which you can't take because you have 2 compulsory courses. So you could take it in the second year, right? And you could take extra courses, but if you don't want, or you can't actually spend the time or the money to do that, then you can also shift around, so you can actually fill out the gap between the first year with the literature thesis, and then do your internship part-time. So all sorts of it's possible, depending on which courses you're interested in. Some things are just not possible, or very hard, because 2 courses might actually overlap in the schedule. Okay. Any questions about this? No? Okay, good. Right, okay. This is just a very rough, not exhaustive selection of places where people from our master program went previously. Obviously at the VU, at the VU Medical Center, at the AMC, they're now both called Amsterdam University Medical Center. NKI, the Dutch Cancer Institute, CMBI in Nijmegen, so these are all academic hospitals. UVA, obviously, in Utrecht, and some companies. This is all in the Netherlands, but just to give you an idea of the diversity, many of our students also go abroad, and sometimes to very nice places. Auckland, New Zealand, or in Tokyo, or somewhere in the UK, or somewhere in Germany. There's almost limitless. Let's say that there's limitless options. It's always the same criteria. It has to be research, and it has to be bioinformatics. So it doesn't fit. Is there a question? I thought you were. Okay, right. That's enough for the master. Let's go back. Now let's go to the course. I'll spend some time actually explaining you the structure of the course. And the main reason for that is that well, there's 2 reasons. It's actually quite a complicated course because we have these classes in it. We also have the lectures, the theory. There's also a project. right? So there's lots of different elements, and also it's quite an intensive period, especially if you're also doing the systemology course. So there's a lot of things you have to do all at the same time, and it's good to be aware of it. That's why. So this is us again. I think I've mentioned all these names already. Yes, here's Douwe for the mathematics class. I think I already mentioned that. You'll see him, I think, on at least in the third. Okay. Right. The other names I already mentioned. So this is the master schedule that we have for these two courses, and the reason I showed it here is there's two reasons. Is that there's a lot of stuff in it. This column here over there is deadlines. This is when you actually have to do a test or a report or something else. So there's quite a few of them, and they start already at the end of the next week. So that means that it's important to try and keep up with all the stuff. Because there really is, I'm aware that most teach you the same with their courses, but there really is no room towards the end of the course to shift anything into. You have to start now, you have to start working. I haven't, so there's two things that happen. First of all, that means usually you guys will be working very hard, because I know that from previous years. Honestly, I haven't had complaints from students. So they always say to me, yes, it's a lot of work, but we like it. So it's up to you to agree with that or not. If you agree, let me know. If you don't agree, please also let me know. Right? Because we're here to make you learn. We're here to help you learn. Right? And one of the things that helps you learn is to make you work hard. Because how do you work? You learn. You can't learn anything by doing nothing. So you have to work. There's the same thing I was going to say. I will sit. Okay. All right. Yes. Very important. But it's okay if you work hard and you like it. Right? It doesn't have to be absolute fun. It doesn't have to be a party. But if you work very, very hard and you don't like it, that's not good. Yeah? If that's okay for a few weeks, maybe. Preferably not. Yeah? So if you feel you're working very hard and you're not sure if you like it, come to me or come to your mentor. Yeah? Because we can see we should try and do something about it. Yeah? Okay. So that's why we try to make it fun, because then we can make you work very hard without you complaining. That works. Right. Now, so the schedule is fairly simple. The reason I have it up because it looks too simple for schedule. It's nice. So we have 6 weeks of classes. There's a few classes in the 7th week. 8th week is for exams. And I'll tell you a minute why there's no classes in week 6. It doesn't mean we have nothing to do. It just means you have a lot to do so much that we can squeeze classes. So Mondays and Tuesdays is fundamental mathematics or principles of mathematics. Wednesdays and Thursdays is introduction to system biology. Friday is bio class, right? And so if you're not doing the bio class, that means you're doing the mathematics and programming classes, which are the programming classes are on the mathematics days, maths classes are on the system biology days. If you're not doing the programming, that means you're doing the maths and bio. If you're not doing the maths, that means you're doing the programming and bio. Yeah? So there's a bit of, it's not quite as full as it looks now. There's a few holes in there depending on what it is. Now, so this is the schedule for, this is a little bit more detail. So Mondays we start with the lecture. It's actually the same for both days. Mondays, Tuesdays we start with the lecture at 9. I know this is not everybody's favorite, but this works. Yeah? I thought you had a question. Okay, that's okay. At 11, till lunch, we have the project work. I'll explain in a minute what the project work is. After lunch, you have the programming class, and then usually there's nothing scheduled in the computer rooms afterwards. So you can continue to work on your programming class or the project, but there will not be any supervision of this. Typically, for the systemology, the schedule is similar, but don't take this for granted because it might be different from last year or from what I remember, and so you'll get that schedule.
Is there enough room to study afterwards, like in the classes, or just go until what is it? Until the university closes?
Well,
Like after 5.
we have 4 computer rooms, and they should be